Today I'm going to tell you about Joanna's story. Okay, Joanna is a lady that I worked with about 2 weeks ago, and Joanna told me her story. And her story was one, it included a little bit of a discussion about her daughter-in-law who travelled to Bali, and she went there for 2.5 weeks, and she went there with her girlfriends. Joanna was this lovely lady, and she kept on telling me these beautiful, she was showing me beautiful photos of her grandchildren. She was telling me about her son. Joanna was telling me of the troubles that her son was having with her daughter-in-law, and Joanna started telling me some secrets. Joanna told me some secrets about how her daughter-in-law actually hit her. She told me some secrets about how her daughter-in-law was demeaning. She told me about her daughter-in-law having stolen her passport and forged her signature on her bank account and was siphoning out money to pay for the trip to Bali. She told me about how she had no money left to her name, and Joanna is a victim of elderly abuse. So today I want to talk to you guys about elderly abuse. I want to explain what it is and what we can do about it. Elderly abuse is any act which causes harm to an older person, and it occurs in an informal relationship of trust, and often it's a family member or a friend. And elderly abuse comes in many forms. It comes in physical abuse, psychological abuse, financial abuse, social abuse, sexual abuse, and neglect. I'm not going to go into the details of what all of those mean. I don't want to do that tonight. But what I do want to tell you is that it often starts small. Any form of abuse often starts small. And I have a picture here, for example, of a mother and a daughter, and a lady named Karen. And Karen started out, she gave up her job, and a few months after giving up her job and looking after her mother, she started taking out some money for paying for some fuel and for some food. And then she took the pay to pay for her holiday. And the fact is that there is no right thing about this, that she did not have consent to take that money away out of her mother's account, and it's wrong. The issue is that often people start out for the right reasons with a good intent to help people, but they end up doing the wrong things. They do the wrong things for the right reasons, in quotation. And the issue with elderly abuse is that, again, in fact, it's often 90% of the people, the perpetrators that are actually doing the elderly abuse is a direct family member. So we often have, there's multiple reasons why. I've got a brochure here if anybody wants to know more, and I'm going to hand it out, and I'm happy to talk to anybody about this afterwards. But there's many reasons why victims of elderly abuse often don't report or act on these unacceptable behaviours. And it often comes down to multiple reasons in relation to the fact that it is a family member, a direct family member that is the perpetrator. So there's often feelings of shame. There's feelings of that they're at fault because they raised that child that is doing that abuse. That they can feel overwhelmed, that they have to rebuild the wealth, the relationships, the social networks that they have developed over time, and they don't have a lot of time left, to be frank. And that dependence that they have on that direct relationship for their social networks to access the social networks. They're often the transportation, or they're afraid and they fear the fact that they might be estranged from a family member, like a grandchild or a one step removed child, or a family member, or a dear loved one. So we have this issue of underreporting, but we also have this issue that it's hard to report. Not a lot of people know about it. Not a lot of people know where to go. And not a lot of people know what to do with elderly abuse. It's not widely known. It's a big problem, and it's getting bigger. There's an estimation that it's probably about 100,000 cases in Australia that are reported to healthcare networks. But it's actually bigger than that. They feel like it's estimated that the unreported cases are quadruple in size. So that 100,000 becomes 400,000 across the nation per annum. And we have an ageing population, so that number is expected to grow. The typical target is often the 70-year-old elderly lady that's frail and with loads of ailments, but it's not a gender issue. It's both male and female. And it worsens as you age. So as you get older and above 80-year-olds, you're subject to 2 to 3 times more abuse. So what can you do? For the general public, we need to know more. We need to talk about it. We need to be aware. And you need to be able to recognise the signs. I have a brochure here that will explain what the signs are of abuse and what to look out for. Do not accept elderly abuse. Seek help. For the elderly, plan your future. None of you guys are elderly, but you might have a loved one. Plan your future. Secure your will. Make sure that it's protecting you. You are advocating for your future self. Protect yourself. Stay active. Stay active as an independent person, but also stay active in terms of lobbying. And do not accept elderly abuse. If you suspect that you're witnessing elderly abuse, if you do nothing, the problem doesn't go away. The abuse continues. Seek help. Do not accept elderly abuse. There is an advocacy service in every state. If you feel as though there is a crisis situation, call the police, or there is a crisis unit available, and you can look that up on the internet. So Joanna's story is about elderly abuse. Elderly abuse is a big problem, and it is a growing problem in Australia. More people need to know about it. There is no excuse for abuse or exploitation. If you do nothing, the problem will not go away. Do not accept elderly